Hey everyone, it's Diabetic Danica, and welcome to day 5 of Diabetes Blog Week. Friday, it's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. That's enough of that. So today I'm using another Wildcard. There's only 2 Wildcards available and I've literally used both after this video now. But today's video is supposed to be kind of like showing you what I eat throughout the day, and just during the week with school and work and everything, I just don't have time to like whip out my camera whenever I eat. So if it was like a Saturday or Sunday, I'd be able to. But anyway, I just can't. So I'm going to do a wild card. The wild card is Crazy Stories wild card. Diabetes can sure bring some crazy moments. So tell us your top 3 craziest D-related stories. If you can't think of 3, don't worry. We're just as happy with 1 or 2. So basically I'm just telling a crazy story related to diabetes, which is so broad, so yay. Now obviously I have multiple stories, and I could tell more than one, but I think I'm just going to focus on this one so I can tell it really well and really in depth. And if I tell more than one, it's going to be really long. And don't worry, I'll tell the other crazy story another time in another video. So I feel like I have to say before I start, it's not like crazy in the sense of like, oh my gosh, that's crazy! It's not like that. It's more like, wow, that's a crazy coincidence. That's all. So maybe it's not even that entertaining. I don't know. We'll see. So let me set the stage for you. Basically, I'm pretty sure, it was after clinical, okay? After clinical, I was in the hospital, and where I live, there's not a lot of food places around me, and it's kind of like hard to get groceries and stuff. So it was after clinical. I was really tired. I think it might have been my last clinical of that session, and so I was like, let's celebrate. Let's get a burger and fries from the hospital cafeteria. But still, anyway, so I did that. I stayed there to eat my burger, and I'm like, I'll eat my fries at home because there were so many of them and I couldn't finish them. So anyway, I'm like walking back to my apartment, and I open my backpack to get my key because you have to swipe to get into the building, you have to swipe to get on the elevator, you have to swipe to get into your room. So I couldn't find it, but that happens to me sometimes. There's a lot of stuff in my backpack. It's hard for me to find the key right away, but usually there's people coming into the apartment with me. And there was. So somebody else is coming to the apartment with me, and so I just kind of, follow them in. They swipe in, I follow them to the elevator, they swipe in the elevator. They say, hey, what floor are you going on? I tell them, and we go up, and I walk all the way down to the end of the hall, and I look for my keys again. I set my french fries on the ground, rifle through my backpack, don't see them, rifle through some more, still don't see them. I'm looking and I'm looking. I'm literally taking stuff out of my backpack. If you look for something in your backpack where there's all this stuff in it, you have to take everything out. I took everything out. They were not in there. My keys were not in my backpack. So I knock on the door. Nobody answers. I do have 2 roommates, mind you. And I texted them, and they weren't home. So my apartment is at the end of a long hallway, and so I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'll just sit here outside my door until they come home. A little bit weird, but I've done stranger things. We do have a sitting area room thing upstairs, but you have to use your key to get there too, and it's just like, you know what, I got my computer, I got my backpack, I'm fine, I'll just sit here and do homework or whatever. So I did. And I'm sitting at the end of the hallway in this little corner area because the hallway just ends and then there's my apartment. And someone starts coming down the hallway, and so I glance up because I'm like, oh, maybe it's my roommate. And I glance up and it's not my roommate, but I make eye contact with this person. So I go back to, typing on my computer thinking they'll go into her room soon. But she just keeps coming, all the way down to the room right across the hall from me. And so obviously she's been staring at me this whole time, not intentionally, but just when you look straight ahead, there I am, sitting on the ground on my computer in the hallway. And she just kind of laughs and goes, you locked out, huh? And I was like, yeah, and then my roommates are home, but it's fine. I got my french fries here, and I got my computer, and it's all charged up for now, so hopefully we'll be okay. So we kind of joke a little bit, and then she goes into her apartment. And then 2 seconds later, she pops her head out, and she's like, hey, you can come study in here if you want. And mind you, I had never met her before, ever. Yeah, we're roommates across the hall from each other, but I hadn't met her. So I was like, are you sure? I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Whatever. It's the same. Here I have the ground, and there I'd have a chair to sit on. I didn't say that, but I was kind of like, no, it's okay. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, well, I guess it couldn't hurt. I figured it'd be nice to have a chair and a plug for my computer and like a countertop. So anyway, I go into her apartment and she actually has other stuff to do, so I just like literally sit in their kitchen at their counter and I start doing my homework. And she's like, you know, let me know if you need anything, if you get hungry, we have food. She was so nice, by the way. Faith in humanity restored. Like, she doesn't even know me. So, I mean, obviously I go to school, the school of nursing. I have like scrubs on and stuff. But anyway, so I'm like, thank you so much. She goes into her room and I'm in the kitchen by myself. And then, of course, one of her roommates comes out of their room. They don't know who I am. They walk out and I'm like, I'm getting to the diabetes part, by the way. This is like a really long story. But anyway, they came out and I was like, hi, like, you don't know me and I don't know any of your roommates, but I'm locked out of my apartment and your roommate let me in to study in here. And they're like, oh, okay. And they were also super nice. And they were like, you know, if you need anything, let me know. I'm just going up to the gym to work out. And I was like, great, nice to meet you. We talked for a little bit. Bye. And then, lo and behold, the third roommate also comes out of their room while I'm in the kitchen. So she comes out and she had just taken a shower, so her hair was all wet. She was like in pajamas or like workout looking clothes. And she comes out and I kind of go through the same spiel. I'm like, hey, you don't know me and I don't really know your roommate. I'm just locked out of my apartment. And she was nice enough to let me in. She was like, oh, that's fine, no worries. So she kind of like turns away to start making food and I see something on her waistband. And I kind of like take a double take and take a step back. I'm like, whoa, like I don't say anything like that, but you know, I'm just kind of like, did I just see an insulin pump? And so I look again and I'm like, that is definitely a mini-med pump. And to top it all off, she has a CGM for the mini-med right on her arm. So I don't want to be creepy, right? Because I literally just met these three people, these three neighbors, and like she doesn't know me and I don't want to be creepy, but I have to say something. So I'm like, oh, I noticed you have an insulin pump. I have one too. I have diabetes too. And she was like, oh, no way. So I like whip out my pump and show it to her. I talk about the Dexcom and how it compares with her CGM and like we start talking. And then I find out she goes to my exact same nursing school. She is just in the cohort behind mine. So she started one semester later than the cohort that I'm in. So that also blows my mind. I'm like, no way, you're also a diabetic. You're also in my exact same nursing program. So we keep talking and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I want to be a diabetes educator, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I do too. No joke. No joke. So we found out we're also from kind of the same region of the US, which was crazy. And so we like start talking about different diabetes stuff we've done and like all our interests and what we want to do. And it was just like the most crazy coincidence. Like, what are the odds that the person right across the hall from me is a diabetic? Not only that, they're in my exact same nursing program. Not only that, they have the same career goal as me. Not only that, I happen to get locked out on the day that her roommate is walking down the hall, asks me to come in, and I happen to be there and like see it. It was just the biggest string of coincidences ever, and like I'd only met one other diabetic at nursing school so far, and she's awesome, and I was just like, I have another one. So I met her and I told her about this other diabetic in our program, Andrea, and I was like, you know, we should all hang out. Or maybe I didn't think of that, maybe Andrea thought of that. I think Andrea thought of that when I told her about Gina, who is the person that I met across the hall. And Gina actually said that she thought she'd seen me before, actually, because I guess I was coming home from class one day and she like thought she saw a pump on my pants, but she like wasn't sure and like she didn't really have time to say anything. But I was just like, that's crazy. And now, of course, that I know her, I see her in school all the time and I'm like, there's that CGM, or like, there's that insulin pump. And also, you know, I recognize her face, duh, but I'm just like, that's so cool. I can't believe I didn't notice like someone else with these medical devices before. So that was a crazy diabetes story in the sense that it was just a crazy coincidence that like the way that I met this diabetic in my program. So me, Gina, and Andrea all got lunch together and we're like, yeah, we're a diabetes club, and you know, we talk diabetes. And Andrea kept making the joke that like, we need to get this club some funding because this is an official nursing school club now, right? Like there's 3 of us, we're getting lunch, you know, we got to make this a thing. So yeah, also I feel like I should read you the tweets that I was tweeting out like while I was stuck in the hallway. So I was locked in the hallway and I was like, I tweeted, locked out of my apartment, neighbor whom I've never met but is a student at my university just invited me in. Hashtag so nice, hashtag faith in humanity restored. And then, not long after that, update. That neighbor's roommate is a diabetic, all caps. I saw her insulin pump. We are both nursing students who want to be CDEs. Hashtag not a coincidence. So anyway, that was kind of amazing. So that is my story for Friday of Diabetes Blog Week. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. And if you are like not a Christian or whatever, this is gonna sound crazy, but I just felt like that day I saw God in a lot of little ways. Like that's the next thing I tweeted. I saw God in a lot of little ways today, just because like I just feel like stuff like that is not a coincidence, and it was just insanely awesome. So God's pretty cool about that.